Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. Welcome to the wild ride that is 1982, as we capture every single video game or the entire industry as in order of release. Welcome to January 1982. We just checked out Zaxxon in the arcades in Japan. Let's see where we're going now. Our next video game is The Arrow of Death, Part 1 for the TRS-80. Let's see what the TRS-80 has for us with the latest in the Mysterious Adventure series by Brian Howarth. We don't have any other information for this except for some screenshots, but I did wrangle up a quote-unquote manual. This is the hint sheet for Mysterious Adventure number 3, Arrow of Death, Part 1. And this is hilarious. This is if you phoned in or if you mailed in and said you're having difficulty with the game, you would get this. Having trouble making progress? Getting frustrated because your computer will not cooperate? Ready to give up adventuring and go back to Space Invaders? And I wonder most people did that at the time. Go back to the action game when the adventure game wasn't working out so well. These notes have been written with the intention of giving you the task of the adventurer a little easier. Not too easy mind. You can qualify for a master adventurer if they merely follow a set of written instructions. So this is the instruction sheet of not the total answers, but gets you on the right track and helps you a little bit. It gives you the nudge in the right direction. They even go in with some description of what the verb parser, noun verb parser is looking for. So you can have an idea of what to use whenever you want to put in the correct answers. Like they say, you won't be able to type in take off gloves because the two-word text parser will not understand that. Don't be frightened to try out the word that comes to mind. Extensive error trapping is built into all programs of the Mysterious Adventure series. This is adventure number 3 of the Mysterious Adventure series using the same engine as Scott Adams. So you can see they give you an example of the description of where you are. They split the screen up just like in the Scott Adams adventure games. But this is just a little memento of what you would have gotten when you said, help, tell me how to play the game, or I'm stuck at a place in the game. And then this is what they would have given you. So kind of cool to check that out. You can see this is, you have to skip a page, then go to the answers. Page 2, page 3, page 4, it tells you if you're at this location or this part of the game, then you can continue from that page. So this is several different pages. Give some examples of what you'll see there. But just wanted to flash that up there. Kind of a cool memento. All right, let's go to The Arrow of Death, Part 1 by Brian Howarth, published by Mollymerks. And this could be argued the end of 81, beginning of 82. So that's what we're going to be checking out. Mysterious Adventure number 3 for the TRS-80. What will it be about? We want Adventure 3. What is your name? Chrono. Another text adventure game. Another series being started using the Scott Adams engine. Do we want to load a saved game? No, we do not. So this is the splash screen for the people that created the engine. This is Bruce Hansen, Alan Mola, apologies. And then we want to start the adventure. Let's go. Good luck on Arrow of Death Part 1 for those who journey in dreams. I'm in a courtyard. Visible items are a dead messenger. We can go north and we can go west. So let's start with look. Courtyard. I see something. And then if you look at the top of the screen, it displays you now see a dead messenger and a rope. So if you didn't think of looking, you would never see the rope because obviously you didn't look the first time. But when you look the second time, then you actually see the rope. That would be the crypticness of text adventure games. We have to, right? Does it understand pilfer? I really want to see. Pilfer body. I don't know how to pilfer something. Darn! See, great vocabulary there, Chiptune. We do our best. All right, so let's take that rope. I wonder if it was used as a noose. Okay, got the rope. Nice. And then examine is what they get. Examine messenger. Looks like the messenger, look at what it says at the bottom. I see something, and you have to look at the top of the screen for what you actually see. You see an amulet. Get amulet. I'll take that. And then examine amulet. We are no longer doing the what in the world how do you play this game right off the bat as if it was 1982. Well, I am following walkthroughs for all text adventure games from this point forward. If you want to see me struggling with text adventure games, please check out the other videos. So on the amulet, we see a picture of a barge. Fascinating. All right, so let's go west. Should just be able to do W, right? So now we're in a palace. Obvious exits are south, east, and west. And then go south. We're in the throne room. There's Zarda, the magician, and the golden baton. Hey, a throwback to the other ones that Brian Howarth did. By the way, we're in England right now. So this is the TRS-80 in the UK playing Mysterious Adventure number 3. So now we go, look, Zardra. There we go. He gasps and says, magical arrow destroys Zerdon. He dies. Man, I'm really loving the lore of the early 80s because all this is made up inspiration from Star Wars, Star Trek, and so forth, or Lord of the Rings, Dungeons and Dragons. And so they're making up more and more names and trying to push you into the lore to get you diving in, but it really doesn't hit very well nowadays. But in 1982, depending on the person, you wanted to be in the game playing it, sure. And no, Zardra dies. So now it updated Zardra's dead. All right, so let's go take the... Oh, let's see. Let's go till you destroy Zerdon, and then I want to get the baton, though. Get baton. It's beyond my power to do that. What? You can't get the baton? Now, it only understands 2 words, so we can't even specify. Get golden baton? This is one of the earlier text-adventure games. Yeah, thanks for the feedback. Appreciate it. All right, so this one is next. Let's go east. Now we're in the kitchen. From the kitchen, we have look, which we showed up in the kitchen, and we obviously didn't look at it yet. You have to say look, and we see a hook. Get that hook. I'll take a hook, sure. And then save it to inventory. Oh, nice. So tie rope. This is where you combine items together. Crazy. And it tied it to the hook automatically. So I had to know to say tie rope, and it automatically put it with the hook. So the rope with the hook at the end of it is what we got. And then take hook. Okay, got it. So we got both pieces now. And then we go west. We're now back in the throne room. And then go north. And go west. And now we're back in the king's chamber. We have a bed, a suit of armor, coat of arms, and the rope with a hook on the end of it. And then from here, let's go examine the coat. Or get coat. Oh, okay. Examine. I see. It turns. Ooh, it's something hidden. So it looks like a hidden passage. So turn coat. Oh, man. So you had to examine the coat, know or understand that the coat turns, and then turn the coat. Yeah, that's true. How do you know which things you can combine and not combine? Because the text adventure game, I'm more familiar with the point and click adventure games or point and select, where you take the objects you want and put them together and merge them. But as a text adventure game, it's a little bit it's more cryptic than that. All right, so let's go from there. Enter passage. Sorry? Oh, wait, doesn't... Oh, that's so English. Sorry? I'm in the king's chamber. Visible items are coat of arms, rope with the hook. Wait, turn coat? Did it do it? It turned it again. Okay, so let's try turn coat. Oh, you got to do it 3 times? Oh my gosh. And then it reveals the secret passage. Wow. Mind blown. Yeah, if you can't get and pick the coat, then you have to know exactly what to type. So that again was... We understood the coat of arms could turn, and we had to know to do it 3 times. Oh my gosh. Okay, so go passage. Go door. Now we're in a secret vault. We have the sword, rope on the end with the hook, which is what we're carrying, I believe. All right, so let's see. We go examine... Oh, actually, let's go back west, because this is the bed. Examine bed. There's a pillow on the bed. Get pillow. What's under the pillow? Nothing? We just get a pillow? Oh, I thought it was going to be... Open pillow. I'm sorry, I don't understand what you mean. Eat pillow. All right, so this is a great example of the text adventure games we've seen that excel, which is Zork. With Zork, it's got lots of options of things that will happen, but these types of adventure games that haven't been programmed with lots of options, they only have, it's more linearity, if that makes sense. So they don't give you a lot of ways to experiment or try new things. This is, you have to be following the path, which is kind of ironic that nowadays we can look at the walkthrough, follow the walkthrough all the way, because these games are very linear. All right, so not a big bash, because this is the usual for the time. Okay, so we'll say, let's go passage again. Go passage. Yeah, and this point, I don't think you can break some of these games. I know you can with the text parsers that are larger, but for these adventure games, it's meant to be almost like a choose-your-own-adventure. It's closer to following a path of options. You get to a place and you're stumped. You have to figure out the puzzle, then you move to the next place. But I don't think there's many of these games that would brick you where you can't continue on. All right, so let's see what's next. No way. Are you kidding me? I'm going that again. I'm getting the sword. And leave west. Okay, so we're back in the bed. We got the pillow. You ready for this? You have to take sword. Oh, I already did that. Take sword, and now we have to use the sword to cut pillow. We found something, and we found a purse. Get purse. There you go. This is another reason I'm doing the walkthroughs now for these text adventure games. They are getting so cryptic and difficult. It's so frustrating. So in 1982, you still were playing these games and you spent a long time working it out, and they would claim that you weren't smart enough or needed to be smart enough to follow all the puzzles and finish the game. But we're going to be doing that for these games are so ridiculous. I thought the same thing, Chip 2. I thought the same thing, Jeff Quest. All right, so that was a small taste of Arrow of Death Part 1. We're going to be seeing more of this. This is the Order of the Mysterious Adventure series. Now, competition's tight, so I'm going to be rating these a little bit harsher now that we're in 82. I'm not going to say it's 3 stars average. I'm going to say 2.5 stars. For the usual text adventure games, it's around the average range, slightly below average. So 2.5 stars for Arrow of Death Part 1. Now, let's keep going forward with our next game.
Why buy just a video game from Atari?
It's William Shatner.
Invest in the wonder computer of the 1980s for under $300. The Commodore VIC-20. Unlike games, it has a real computer keyboard.
Ooh.
With the Commodore VIC-20, the whole family can learn computing at home. Plays great games, too.
The whole family means one kid?
Under $300, the wonder computer of the 1980s, the Commodore VIC-20.
Coming soon, Commodore brings you Gorf, the Wonder arcade game, and Omega Race in home versions.
And Omega Race. So cool. So that's just what's happening in the world of advertising. On the Commodore VIC-20, we got William Shatner selling the system, which is phenomenal. And you can see the price is a really good price. What they didn't say in the ad, though, is coming up later this year is the Commodore 64. So buy the VIC-20 and then buy the Commodore 64. But we haven't seen it yet. This is the year when it's launched. All right, so this is Blitz for the Commodore VIC-20. For artwork, let's take a look at what we got for Blitz. This one is what we consider a Blitz variant. It's very simple. We've seen it from the early 70s. The front actually has a picture of the game itself. There it is, a screenshot of Blitz. Yeah, you think that, but not really. No, he's not. He's better than George Plimpton. And we're talking computers. They wouldn't blend the computer advertising with console advertising, would they? We'll see. All right, let's pop in and play some Blitz. This is by Commodore Business Machines, released very early in January of 1982. We're in the UK again. So the object of the game is to flatten the city so you can land your aeroplane on the ground. You control the dropping of bombs by pressing space. Let's go. Which means this game is played like the originals we've seen since the arcade in the 70s. You just push spacebar at the right time. It drops the bomb. After it drops the bomb, and you just time your shots. So all I'm doing is pressing spacebar. I'm not in control of the plane. There is no scrolling involved. It is only me pressing the spacebar and timing the spacebar on the buildings. I am slowly moving down the screen, but you can see Blitz is very, very simple. For all the games we've seen at the time, this is not broken, but I would argue this is borderline bad, because all we're doing for gameplay is hitting spacebar. So it has some merit. You would maybe get some value of it, but it would be so quick. For 1982, we've seen the Commodore VIC-20 do much better games than this. But you do have to make sure you clear everything down before it gets to the end, you can see I'm about to crash. Yeah, by the next round. Because you can only drop one at a time. And then you're done. Yeah, we've seen the ads for the Commodore VIC-20. This is William Shatner, but the Magnavox Odyssey console was done by Leonard Nimoy. Yeah, the competition would be awesome if it was like Apple with Leonard Nimoy. That'd be so cool. All right, so for this game we've seen for the time, I'm going to do 1.5 stars. It is bad, considering the other games we've seen up to this point. Let's press forward and see what else we got going on. Now it's time to go to the Atari home computer. This is Bug Attack. And Bug Attack we've already seen for the Apple II last year. Let's see what it's like on the Atari. Starting with the front of the box, it looks just like it was on the Apple II. Same thing, yeah, in the same back of the box. Bugs are on the loose and they're hungry. Can you survive? We have a small ad for it. This is by James L. Nichols. And then that's it, just a screenshot for Bug Attack. We have the manual too. The Bug Attack manual for Atari. How do you start the game? Well, on the Atari home computer, they try to make it easy. It's funny that this early on in the 80s, they're trying to make the computers as easy as possible as if they were consoles. We're the beetle at the bottom of the screen and armed with a limitless supply of stingers. You have 2 spare beetles as you progress, and you're awarded different beetles. So we're playing as a beetle. This is obviously a centipede variant. Press the joystick button to begin play, and then shoot. Wait, did they say knives? Yes, avoiding the sharp knives, because the bugs in the game throw knives at you. And then we have escape key to resume play, and then there's our point values, got into the points in 1982, and then that's it. Very bare bones manual, because it's a centipede variant, and then we just have an alternate version. All right, let's pop in and play some Bug Attack by Jim Nichols, Cavalier Computer, released very early, January 1982. Oh, that's very generous. Yeah, so we always rate the games for the time. Because I've seen the VIC-20 do much better, a Blitz variant at this point and one that plays like that, it's a little lower in my book. All right, so this is Bug Attack. Let's go. Is there options? No, the manual didn't have anything. So if you look over here on my side, I'll switch sides. The Atari 800 had buttons that you pushed to select options and games, similar to the Atari VCS. But what we'll do is, I'll switch myself back over. There's nothing I'm pushing that's changing anything. So there's just one game mode, one player, and we go. And we're in. So bottom of the screen, we're not making mushrooms, we're making cactus. And the ants are dropping knives. It's not visually as impressive as the Apple II. And we have the same ants go marching music happening in the background. Oh, even getting a little slowdown. So if I move left and right with more objects on the screen, the performance isn't as good as the Apple II. But still lots of fun. And switching up the enemies so it's different insects to play against. It's not the same old centipede. Cool idea. Hearing the same public domain music over and over again, I'm probably going to go crazy. Bear in mind, it's 1982. We have not seen any video game soundtrack at all. There's been no video game soundtrack yet. There's been a tune, there's been ditties, but no soundtracks yet. Yeah, this plays great. And keep in mind, we're on the Atari computer. I'm playing with the VCS joystick right now. So cool. Yep, increasing the difficulty. I'm really hoping to see if they have different enemy variations. This is a nice touch, though. They switched it around where they're not following... The enemy's not following each other like a centipede or a train. It almost feels like we're playing a Galaxian. Oh. If you did see the Apple II, the explosion they did of your death was very impressive. This one, it's okay. It's muted compared to that one, but that's if we're comparing each version. But it is the year after. We saw Bug Attack last year. And we have so many games in 82 that we're really going to see a big difference in quality. Oh, there's a fuel counter. Oh, we got a cutscene. I don't know what the cutscene was for. Oh, okay, now we're moving on to Clovers. Nice, we upgraded to the next level. You're able to also hear the performance with the music in the background, how it's playing slow and then fast depending on how many objects are on screen. Really still impressive death. It's fun to do that. I enjoy games that love that they know you're dying and they do something impressive for you. Oh, and there's our pause key, by the way. You can use that on the Atari home computer, and they've been doing that for some of the games. That's going to be the big feature when the Atari 5200 is released, used by the same architecture. Yes, some of the insects really didn't look like insects. All right, so for the games we've seen up to this point, Bug Attack, we originally gave 4 stars last year for the Apple II. This one is still about typical for the usual games we've seen for the time. It's not as impressive as the Apple II, but that's not a big difference between 2 different versions. But I'm still going to go 3 stars for all the games we've seen. Yeah, right down the middle, average. All right, let's see where we're going next, and what is our next game? It is our very first TRS-80 color computer of the year for 1982. This is Cave Hunter. Let's take a look at Cave Hunter. Starting with, we have no box. We have the advertisement for it. It says, outsmart the creatures that pursue you as you hunt for treasure in a maze of cave passages. Lots of colors and sounds. $25 for the cassette version, and then disc is $30, at least on this ad. And then we just have an example of the screenshot. If you're waiting for the Coco, here we go. Yep, no manual, so we're popping in and playing Cave Hunter by Ron Krebs. Way to go, Ron. Let's go. What's on the disc, man? Everything we play on the Coco is on disc. I want to have them load a little bit faster. Here we go. There we go, Darling Clementine. If you're playing the Chronologically Gaming Bingo musical public domain, then you can add that Darling Clementine to the list. All right, so we're in. Joystick works great. Start at the top of the screen. Looks like I got red dots for my power-ups, and we have a Pac-Man variant. A different style Pac-Man variant. This one, you go down to the bottom, you pick up the gold bars, which we don't have a manual, so I don't know what they're called. But after you get the gold bars, you got to make your way to the top. Cash them in, and it looks like... Oh, man, I already got captured? That was fast. Oh, it stopped there. Nice. All right, you drop the gold bar, pick it up, then go get your next power pellet. Make your way to the bottom. Let's see what we can do. Get another gold bar. It has the wraparound on the left and right side, like it did for Pac-Man. And... Oh, this is close. Yeah, they are not kind with the hit detection. Let's just pick it up and go. There we go, got it. So while you could say it's Pac-Man because of the power-ups and the enemies on screen, I like the idea of you're bringing something to another location. I'm just going to avoid them. Like you're actually going down in a mine, getting gold, and then coming back. All right, this isn't looking good. Now I don't have to run. Let me see if I got him. Nice. And then last gold bar. Make our way up to the top. Yeah, with the way that you move around the screen, I think they'd be a little generous, but nope. Oh! Did I just clip through them? Cool. All right, so we're on the next level. It looks like it is more the same, but yeah, maybe enemies moving faster. You gotta have that arcade flair. This is 1982, so arcade's driving the best video games in the industry, and so people follow the same format at home still. There's a few. Oh nope, not looking good. There's a few games like role-playing games that don't just continue to repeat and get harder and harder. Oh yeah, that's tough. As soon as you get close to them, there's no wiggle room. But it does save where you left the gold bar, which is kind of cool. But pick it up, bring it back to the top, and you're golden. All right, there you go. That's Cave Hunter for the Coco. Of the first Coco game, cool idea. It's the top-down maze game. It's all the rage right now. And that formula is pretty nice. Now, while it doesn't change up the maze, it's still good for the time. I'm still going to say around 3 stars. The average is typical, and I don't want to say average is the bad, like a bad range. It's the usual game you would see in 1982. So I'll give Cave Hunter 3 stars. It is perfectly average. Oh, even slightly below. It's enjoyable. If you use the Coco controller or joystick, it works really well for this game too. All right, let's press forward and see our next game. It's not a game at all. This is the latest magazine by Analog Computing. Let's take a look at Analog and see what's happening in the world of Atari. The magazine for Atari computer owners. This is number 5, January 1982. And this one's all about graphics on the Atari 400 and 800. We've got several different things that we go through. This is an ad just for memory. I'm going to breeze by that one. And then this is an ad for Race in Space that we did check out last year. It was okay, slightly subpar, by Charles Bakken. Requires 16K, Challenge the Asteroids. And they have a few of these articles from this magazine of attention to programmers, because now Analog is starting to publish games that people send them. So they're saying, come on, send us more stuff so we can use it. And then we also have an ad for the Compute's first book of Atari. Haven't read that one. Need to check that out. We're going to breeze by the front table of contents because we're going to be looking through most of the magazine anyway. For the editorial, it's talking about the 400 and 800 computers, and this one right above my head is the software reviews. They're changing something, and this is the first time we've seen any magazine do this. All the software reviews are now going to implement a rating system. They have 5 categories. They're going to have concept, originality, challenge, skill, graphics, and sound. And then they're going to break them down. Concept is how good the overall concept of which game is based. Originality is how original the game is compared to other ones. So 10 would be a completely original game, not taking for anything else. Challenge, how much does challenge it provide? How well does the game adjust to skill of the player? And then graphics. And then this is the first time we've ever had a magazine do a rating system, because we've seen the other magazines that we've been reading since 1980, they just have a read. You're reading about the game, but they don't really give it a rating. Does it say challenge? Oh, challenge. All right, so we'll go to the next part for reader comment. We're going to breeze by these. This is kind of interesting because the reader section of Analog Magazine isn't just writing in and telling about how awesome your Atari computer is. A lot of this is tech support, because there wasn't a lot. You didn't have the support and online like internet systems we have now for these computers. So some people are writing in problems they're having, like, why can't I poke or do something correctly on the Atari computer? And so we'll just breeze by this section. Then let's go to Merry England, Creative Computer Software. This is a few games we've seen an ad for EMI Video, which have had, if you look on the left side, Darts with an example of the screenshot. Darts has, up to this point, one of the best music sounds we've ever heard from any game ever. And it also is taking a cool viewpoint. It's just high quality. And of course, it's Darts, but it's pretty impressive. And then we've also seen billiards, snooker, dominoes, and cribbage, all these. And then also the tilt game and pool. So all these we've already seen before on the show. This is Thorn EMI Video from England. And we're getting in the North American Analog Magazine. And here's some more editorial or letters writing about the problems they're having with their Atari home computer. And then we have, oh yeah, we don't need to hear about finance. We're going to avoid that. This is not just games. This is also software for the Atari home computer. This is interesting. This is an article for the Winter Consumer Electronics Show right above my head in Las Vegas. CES was happening that far back, and it shows the highlights of the Winter CES show. It's talking about the 3 new games, Caverns of Mars, which we've already seen on the show, and then Pac-Man. They say it's going to be scheduled for May, and then they say Centipede is scheduled for June. And then the Caverns of Mars is a re-release because it was originally by I forget the name of the developer, but it was made self-published. So this is the official release that'll be coming out. And then they even have, they're talking about memory. 48K is still the max or the most we've seen to run any games. And then if you look over on the left side, this is new video games to stop the competition flat. So they're talking about the commercials, and we've been seeing that on the show. The commercials of Atari bashing and television, like the console war in the commercial world. And so this is talking about how Atari, the VCS, has been picked on, the poor Atari VCS, and that they're going to be coming out with a new system. And there it is. There's the picture, or our first look at what the Atari 5200 will be. They don't even call it that. Do they even have a name for it? They just say it's a new system that'll be coming out, and it's going to be including Asteroids, Space Invaders, Galaxian, and other advanced sports games. So all the way here in January, we have a preview of the Atari 5200 right there. So cool. It's really close to the original system. It actually looks smaller there. Maybe they should have gone smaller because the 5200 is huge. And then we have new prices for things coming out. And then for other products, we're going to skip by graphics. And then they even have a little article here about air traffic controller beating out Space Invaders in sales. So I guess that's some game info. If we breeze down here, we got an ad for Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. So cool. That is one of the best games we played back in 1981. Highly recommend that if you go back in time and want to tell people about video games in 81. And then on the left side, this is, what ad is this for? Premium software for your Atari. You got Space Chase, Time Bomb. What company is it? Oh, Swifty. Okay, so that's from Swifty Software. And we've checked out, we don't do the educational or data management, but Time Bomb and Space Chase, yep, we've seen those on the channel. And then we have quality software about character graphics. We can breeze by that. Here's a technical article about peaks and pokes. Everyone that got the Atari system, they wanted people to program for it, make video games, make software for it. And this magazine helps people with that. They even have a national computer camp so that they can send your kids ages 10 to 18 to the Atari National Computer Camp. Yikes. And then there's an ad for Speed Read. We can breeze by that. How to make three-dimensional graphics on your Atari computer. It's technical, fun if you like that kind of stuff. It even has things that you can program in yourself. With the Mirage software ad that's right above there, Roman Conquest, Attack of the Yeti, Disaster at Sea Lab, and then Star Fortress, Nebulon, Submarine Strike. I think we've only seen a couple of those. So this is kind of giving us a preview of what we'll see in 1982. And this one is for an ad for Warlock's Revenge by Synergistic Software. We've seen Orloff's, I forget how you pronounce it, Revenge. It's a high-res adventure game, and here's a big color ad for The Stone of Sisyphus. This is already out on the Apple II, and we've already played this one on the Apple II, and this is going to be coming out for the Atari soon. You can see it's going to be for the TRS-80. It's 48K, and there's the Apple II version, and the Atari you need 40K, so we're still upping what's required to play these games. 48K, wow. It's going to go up and up. Crazy. And here's Adventure International. Adventure International, what do you got for us? They want to get some authors, software dealers? Yeah, Adventure International's taking everybody. And here's a game review, the first one in the magazine for Shooting Gallery. This is one we checked out, and it's kind of funny because I rated this one around average for 1981 whenever we first played it. It was okay. It was like a carnival-style shooting game. And we've seen several things in the arcade and a few others that we've seen for the home computer. We kind of lump all the home computers together. But this rating that they give it an overall rating of 9.2 out of 10. I know you got a rating system, but that's really generous. For Shooting Gallery, think of all the other things that are on the Atari home computer. Gosh, that's so high. Or in this person's opinion, apparently. All right, and this is a game review for Jawbreaker. So this one is a Pac-Man style maze game. There's the example of the box for it. They gave this one excellent. In fact, they said on a scale of 1 to 10, they would give the game 11. And Jawbreaker was good. You have to consider, though, we've played everything here on the channel. And this is just one of the maze Pac-Man variant games that is really close to the other ones. It's done really well. I think we gave it 3.5 stars for the time. And then moving on to our next one, this is lots of information on what things would have cost by Artworks, which you've seen quite a few titles by them. Nothing's jumping out big. Encounter at Questar 4 is pretty cool. Cranston Manor, okay, that's a big one. Cranston Manor was a really good graphic adventure game. That's the future. Not text adventure game, graphic adventure games. And then this is an interesting article about a laser disc. That's right, laser disc mentioned in 1982. And we're not even going to see Dragon's Lair in the arcade yet until 83. But they're talking about the laser disc for the Atari home computer. Crazy. Blows my mind. Here's an ad for alternate software. They have no video games, so we do not care. And as we scroll down, here is something I'm really interested in. This is Eastern Front. We gave this one 5 stars for last year. This was one of the best strategy games you could play because of the interface. This is by Chris Crawford. It is the best playing strategy game from 1981 when this came out. Now, this one probably is for not the one that Chris Crawford self-published, the later one. And you can see the rating. They gave it a 9.3. The rating thing's so high. It is really good. And we gave it 5 stars and one of the best games you could play. Wait a second. I think the other one was 9.7 for the Shooting Gallery game. I would say this far outweighs Shooting Gallery. And we're going to breeze by File Manager. We don't need a review for File Manager here. We only care about the games. And File Maintenance, don't care. And then you want to get some RAM for your Atari? Check out the prices there. 48K or the board costs $300, at least from that store. And then Sunrise Software, an ad that they have on the left side. No games there. And here is another software review. This is for Fantasyland 2041. This is another game we played in 1981. Way ambitious. So crazy for the time how much they tried to incorporate into this game. It has different lanes you can go to. They mention in this article about the bugs that they came across because this game first came out and it would crash a few times and they had to make some changes and issue out another version of the game. In fact, when we checked it out, it was still in a Ziploc baggie, at least the pictures that I found for it. But they gave this a grand total of, oh, where's the rating for it? There it is, yes. They gave this one a 7.2, so maybe they're not super generous on it. But you can see concept and originality is way up there. I'm surprised they gave graphics so low. It was pretty good for the time. That's right. They did in the arcade. Yeah, so this magazine really isn't the arcade for, or the magazine for the arcade of Atari. It does have a spotlight for the VCS, but that's true. The Laserdisc Atari was, Firefox. Good shout out. All right, so this is for a stopwatch. This is literally a stopwatch. You can put in the code and place have a stopwatch software on your Atari home computer. Check it out. We will not be putting in that one. We don't want applications here on Chronologically Gaming. And then we have Computer House, which we have an ad that we watched the commercial for, which is funny for Computer House. But you can see they got stuff by Adventure International, Automated Simulations, Avalon Hill. We've seen all this. Crystal Computer, Datasoft. But you got Online Systems. Still not calling it Sierra at this point. At least here at Computer House. And then graphics. We're going to skip by those. Interesting stuff if you're a programmer / developer. And then same here, Player Missile Graphics, a step beyond. We'll breeze by that. They have the example of using the missile, which is a way to program for the VCS and the Atari home computer. And then here we go, the VCS update. So this magazine, while it mostly focuses on the 800 and 400 computer, this is about what's happening in the world of the VCS. So it's telling us about Activision, which is so cool because when Activision first came out, Atari didn't want anything to do with them. They put the lawsuit in their place, and now they're all chummy, talking about the games coming out for Activision. It's helping to sell systems, and they're just buddy-buddy now. They talk about the games coming out here. We got Super Breakout, Haunted House, Pac-Man, Yar's Revenge, Defender, Math Grand Prix, Berserk, Star Raiders. And this is for the VCS. So the majority of these we've seen on the Atari home computer. And you can see they have an example of Pac-Man. And I think that Pac-Man really looks close to the VCS Pac-Man that's going to be coming out. The infamous Pac-Man that's coming out. And then we have an example of Defender down there at the bottom. Yeah, and they have Pac-Man, Defender, and Berserk. And then they have 2 games they say are scheduled to release later, which are Hot Rocks and Fox Bat. I am not familiar with those, but we will see if we run into Hot Rocks and Fox Bat later in 1982. And that's all they give. Usually 1 page for just the VCS and Analog magazine. And then we have examples about using the joystick for the Atari 400 800. We'll breeze by those. And then price breakthroughs, get your savings now. Atari display, yes, we'll breeze by that. Lots of help for people that want a program for the Atari home computer. And then an ad for using the monkey wrench to get yourself helped out. There's only one more thing I want to show, which is, yes, here we go. The ads for Adventure International. So this is an ad for Star Trek 3.5, which we've checked out on the show. The one that I had was a bit glitchy. We didn't get the full experience, but you can see it's a 32K tape for $20 in 1982. And then we have Deflection, which we've seen. That one's a pretty good game. And Angle Worms. Mountain Shoot, which I think we've seen that one. And then Sunday Golf. I don't know if we've seen Sunday Golf yet by Adventure International. And then this is really the reason I wanted to show this magazine tonight. This is the ad for Adventure International, where Adventure is selling a limited edition package of all of Scott Adams' adventure games. And it has Scott Adams riding some kind of beast with a scepter and in all his Afro glory. Love it. It's the limited edition gold edition that has all 12 Scott Adams adventure games. And it even has a $100 tape or disc. Wait, is that what it costs? $100? See, it says the 12 adventures, if you were to buy them individually, they cost $239 if you bought them by themselves. But this game is $100. What does it say? Yeah, $100. And the limited gold edition version is what you'll get whenever you order this in. Yeah, we've established that for sure. Look at that, leather bound, $100, and look at it even comes with gold coins. It says, in keeping with the spirit of adventure, $1,000 in gold coins is hidden within the limited gold edition, and it's waiting for you. And that is it for this edition of Analog Magazine. We don't rate the magazines. We'll move on and see what 1982 holds for us after that. Yeah, a good deal for 12 adventure games. Yeah, and a chance to get $1,000 or in gold coins. Sure, that's awesome. All right, let's press forward and see our next game. Yeah, here we go. Let's see what's going on in the world of Apple.
这就是我们的 Apple computer.
My Apple has a great head for stats. It sure makes my job a lot easier.
There are more people in more places doing more things with Apples than with any other personal computer in the world.
Man, we never travel without the Apple.
And of all these people using Apples, most had never touched a computer before. Apple, the most personal computer.
That's right. Apple's still leading in sales at this point. And this is the Labyrinth of Crete for the Apple II. For this one, we have the front of the box, which has a few different Greek mythological figures on there. This is by Cliff Anderson and Alan Pinero. Way to go, Cliff and Alan. And this is an example of what you get inside the box, which I don't have everything, but there's the 5 1/4 floppy disk, an example of the map, and then an instruction manual with an example of the screenshot. Oh, we do have a manual. Sweet. The User's Guide, Labyrinth of Crete. Now, this is for all 3 versions. We're just going to be checking out the version for the Apple II. It has a story of, in ancient times, the hero Jason and his crew Argonauts sought the golden fleece from Aeetes, the king of Colchis. The most cherished possession, the magical fleece would have been a coveted prize for its ability to heal the sick alone. However, it was its miraculous power to restore the dead to life that made men willing to risk their life to obtain it. After many long, arduous battles, Jason succeeded in his quest, sailed back to Thessaly with a golden fleece. It is a little-known fact that Jason then lost this valued treasure to the fierce armies of Crete under the leadership of King Minos. So prepare for this journey. Our epic journey will be a text adventure game through the Labyrinth of Crete to find the golden fleece, which we've already had 2 other text adventure, graphic adventure games, because that's one of the ones that Online Systems put out for us. So you can see how to play. Restoring save games. It is the verb, noun, to word text parser for this one. Never leave a space between H and J. Oh, wait, we control both Hercules and Jason in this game? Nice. So if H get coin is entered, it'll apply to Hercules. And if J drop hammer is used, then Jason will drop the hammer. The names Jason and Hercules appear on screen during all text displays. Whoa, we're controlling 2 people at once? That's the first time we've ever seen that in a game. So that's new, not average. And it even has ways that you speak to people. So this is great. This is pretty impressive. And then it has the loading instructions. We can breeze by that and refer to the manual if we need to. Let's go. Released at some point. January 10th is what we said, 1982. This is Labyrinth of Crete for the Apple II. Yeah, it might be. If you follow Greek mythology, that wouldn't be correct. They're switching and changing up the history here, or mythology. All right, read an instruction manual before playing the first time, as there's several commands unique to this game which are critical, and it's true. This game has lots of unique commands. Do we want to restore a previously saved game? We do not. We are ready. We have the manual. And go fast forward. Ooh, get a splash screen. Nice. That must be Jason and Hercules right there. Yeah, this one did take a little while to load. We're going 600% faster, and it's still going a while. Jason and Hercules see a carved stone corridor. Objects in view are nothing. And we have north, south, east, and west for exits. So if Jason and Hercules see something, do we have inventory here? I didn't even see. I don't know the word I and V. Hercules carries nothing. Okay, so I bet we have to do I, J. Oh, okay, that's not for Jason's inventory. All right, let's go east. Jason and Hercules see a narrow passageway. Objects in view are a golden coin. Get coin. Now, does that mean if I do I, who's got the coin? Okay, Hercules carries the coin. This is the very first time we've done a text adventure game where you're controlling 2 characters simultaneously, which I guess it's a lost opportunity to play it as a co-op game, but then you'd have to hot seat back and forth. I don't know. Let's go north. Or we already have to draw a map. Oh, yeah. It looks like we need a map. Because if we're already in ruins, or if it really is the Labyrinth, then at this point, 1982, you'd be writing all this down. Jason and Hercules see a small cave. Golden runes are etched deeply into the wall. We have no objects in view, so let's go west. And now we have a narrow passageway echoing with the sounds of rushing water with a wooden bridge. Nice. So let's go south. And we have the carved stone corridor again. Okay, we'll go back down south. We have a blackened stone crypt. Its walls stained with human blood. Objects in view are a 9-headed hydra. Sweet. Now, how do I look? If I say look, what happens? Oh, we see nothing special, and there's a 9-headed hydra in front of us. I wouldn't think that's nothing special. All right, so let's try. We don't have any weapons, right? Can we kill hydra? This cannot be done by strength alone, but I'm Hercules. Hercules can get a 9-headed hydra, right? What about fight? I don't know the word fight. Oh, no. Always brings me down whenever a text adventure game says, I don't understand the word that you should know. All right, so let's go west. Can we? What happens if what the hydra does? Oh, there it is, the 9-headed hydra in all its high-res glory. Cool. Wait, does this mean we died? That hydra's got a spiked tail. It's going to destroy us. The hydra bars your way. Okay, so we can't go. We have to get rid of the hydra. Throw coin. Oh, okay. It took it as drop coin, so it's on the floor right now. Okay, get coin. It didn't do anything. Usually it gives us a next instruction, like throw coin at hydra or throw something next after that. Yeah, battle. Maybe battle would work. I don't know the word battle. Of course you don't. All right, let's go north then. Are we stuck? No, okay, we can go north. All right, so this would be our first puzzle of the game. Ladies and gentlemen, this text adventure game, I could not find a full walkthrough for. It is either harder to come find one, or all my sources for walkthroughs do not have how to play this one. And I'm wondering if it's because you control 2 people at the same time. It's a little more difficult to play. But I will say this. Of all the text adventure games we've played, I'm very interested to play this one with the 2 people playing at the same time. So that's all we'll do for our taste of the Labyrinth of Crete for the Apple II. Very impressive for the time. That's right. Go on your own. Hercules can be okay. We'll feed it to Jason. All right, so I'm going to give this one, of all the games we played, it's an above average 3.5 stars. Still using a 2-word text parser, but very impressive. You saw in the manual what it's able to do compared to other text adventure games. Awesome. All right, with that, let's press forward and see our next game. Yes, our next one is Rear Guard for the Atari home computer. First released on the Atari home computer, and we have 3 different games called Rear Guard, published by Adventure International, but they are all different games. Very rare to see this. Usually we see something that's the same style and just looks a little different on the different computers, but no, Rear Guard is totally different. So here, let's check out the Atari 800 version of Rear Guard. There's the front of the box. Adventure International, making it like an arcade. Yeah, you go to the Adventure International arcade. This one is the Atari version by Neil Larimer. Way to go, Neil. With full color graphics. You flip it over the back, it's just like all the Adventure International games. Number of players 1 to 2. Average completion time. Suggested age group is... It says average completion time is 5 minutes to finish this. Nice. Rear Guard is the arcade experience. And you can see on the left, there's the Atari version, assisted by Sparky Starks. Way to go, Sparky. We have the ad that also is for the Atari computer version. They came out of the blue of the western sky. It's up to you to stop them. Rear Guard really isn't a good name for a game. I mean, who wants to guard someone's rear? Adventure International needs better marketing. And there's our cassette tape that we're going to be popping in for the Atari version of Rear Guard. We got the manual too, so this one will tell us what is it. It's the game for true heroes for the Atari. How do we load this game? We know how to do that. An open letter to the oldest Rear Guard pilot in the world. Hello, heroes. I hope the ladies reading this will pardon me. The reason I say hero is that it sounds better than fool, and only a fool or hero would ask for Rear Guard duty. Yes, they would. Rear Guard. History majors recall the kamikaze pilots of the 20th century, Second World War. They are human beings who are literally strapped to the craft. They were crashed their targets like guided human bombs. Don't cry, you're not getting strapped into anything. Your enemy is. So they give us a little bit of story before we play. Lots of story. Wow, okay, Adventure International. So this is essentially a Defender type game. It's going to be a horizontally scrolling affair, but you can see they give us lots of story, and then they break down the kind of levels we'll see. What level 1's like, level 2, 3, 4, 5, and so forth. Lot to look forward to. Let's pop in and play a Rear Guard for the Atari 800 by Neil Larimer and Sparky Starks. Let's go. On cassette, I guess, right? Don't adjust your audio. That's just the way the cassette sounds, apparently. Yes. Oh, yes. How many people are playing? This is alternate play, but we'll do one player for now. Oh, flashy, nice. So we can do skill level, which I'm hitting the select key on my Atari 800. We got 5? Oh, okay, 5 different skill levels. Let's start on level 1 and go. Alright, so this is allowing me to move the joystick left and right for speed. Oh, if I hit the bottom, my shields go down. Okay, gotcha. And you can slow down, speed up, and you basically want the ships to pass you and shoot them on the other side. So interesting concept. You're not hitting the enemies head on. You're waiting for them to pass and then make a shot. And it tells you how many have escaped and how many you've missed or hit. And I can adjust speed, but looks like speed doesn't... It doesn't adjust change the enemies too much. You can also just kamikaze the enemy and you lose the shields for it. The spacecraft look a lot like Star Trek or Star Wars ships. Man, what would the video game world be like without Star Wars and Star Trek? For the Atari 800, this is really impressive seeing horizontally scrolling landscape and stars like this. I'm just using my shields up. Whoop, we passed level 1. Nope, slow down. Got him, nice. Yeah, it's very Defender-like, but there's no rescuing. There's also no turning left and right. It's just horizontally scrolling, and it doesn't even go level to level. You notice we went to level 2, and now we died. But the landscape didn't change. It's just changing up the enemy patterns. Yes, that's true. It's kind of like Defender, but it's not totally like that. All right, so what you see is what you get at a very good arcade game. This was the first time that you would have seen rear guard for the Atari home computer, and for this title, this one is this one's still around average for the typical games you'd see for the time. The reason I say that is because of the other rear guard games. Now, we didn't get the exact release date, so we're going to put them together to see them all at the same, all in one. So here's rear guard for the TRS-80. The Radio Shack. Let's take a look at the artwork for rear guard for the TRS-80. Same box we saw before, really nice, Adventure International. Flip it over the back, same thing we saw before, and then for this one, it'll be the 5¼ floppy disk we'll be playing off of. For rear guard, let's go. Released around January 1982. We know for sure the Atari version was, and then the other ones, since they were the same year, I want to keep them together so we could take a look at what it's like. What they're like. All right, so what do we got? Rear guard. We're ready to load. I really hope this uses the TRS-80 joystick. By Wayne Westmoreland and Terry Gilman. So way to go, Wayne. Way to go, Terry. This one is a completely different rear guard than we just played, even though it's published by Adventure International. Here we go. And there's our high scores. Since we're the first to play, nothing happened on this one. All right, so one player. We're ready. Nice. Okay, so this one takes place. I'm on the left side of the screen. I'm constantly auto-scrolling to the left. Can I move faster? I cannot. So I have no speed with the joystick. And joystick does work. Very nice. This one is more impressive for the TRS-80, that we have horizontally scrolling stars, and look at the landscape. They're doing a pseudo-parallax scrolling on the bottom with the mountains, or at least a faux parallax scrolling. That is so cool. Man, if I was rating these computers on their own merits, some of the games for the TRS-80, they'd be 5 stars. They're so amazing. They're flipping geniuses. So we got no different speeds, no different speeds here, but I do have a shield that I can do when I move to the right. It gives me a shield, so I shouldn't blow up if I use that. And it has a meter down at the bottom telling me how much shield I have left. Yes, that makes sense. This plays really similar to the one on Coco. It looks similar. Oh, can we get through this? I don't know. But play control, I'm so impressed this is on a TRS-80. It plays so good. It is one shot at a time. We're getting a little more firepower on the Atari 800. But I mean, look, this is so cool for 1982. And in the same vein as the 800, it's just continuing. It's going to continue to play and add more enemies to the screen. Oh no! I would argue this one's the better one of the two we played so far. Yeah, definitely. That's why I want to lump these together. We can get a good view of how the game's played. So for rear guard, I'm going to bump this down to 2.5. And this one for sure is a 3-star game for 1982. And finally, the last version of rear guard for this is the Apple II version of rear guard, released in January 1982. Let's take a look at the box for rear guard for the Apple II. Looks about the same. Everything's the same. Yep. And there's our disc for the Apple. No other information for this one. The only manual we had was for the Atari home computer version. But here we go. By John Anderson, this is Rear Guard for the Apple II, released early 1982. My guess was first quarter of 1982. So we just put them all together. All right, so what do we want to play? We want to play Rear Guard. Let's go. Yes. And we will fast forward just a smidge. Well, I went into this one, I guess. Wow. Okay, we got keyboard control or paddle control. Adventure International. Does this tell us that the adventure game genre really isn't profitable, and that's why they started doing more arcade games? What's wrong with adventure games? You got to make arcades too? All right, we want to go paddle controls. Let's go. You ready? Here's Rear Guard for the Apple II. Oh, we'll do one player. All these are alternating plays, so if you do play with two people, you just have to switch off. All right, we're in. Oh, wow. So I got more control in this one. Whoa. Okay, so I can move up, down, left, and right. I really actually thought that was a power-up, ladies and gentlemen. I thought that was the F. Oh, it's just an enemy? Okay, so I really want to pick up the F to see if it is a power-up. That was freaky. Let's see. Yeah, it's rotating like a power-up. I want to try to pick it up. So you can see how it's kind of like... Wait, did I get it? Yes, so it's not technically a power-up, but it allows you to add fuel or shields. But it's encased in an object that looks a lot like a jewel or a power-up for another shooter like Gradius or something. Whoa, that's crazy. Okay, yeah, this is really impressive. This is, like I said, they're not all the same game. This one plays differently. Of course, I'm playing on the Apple paddle controller, but the ability to move around, I'm not messing with the speed of the game like I was on the Atari. I'm just moving freely around the screen, but it is auto-scrolling to the right. And is the other button do anything? Oh, I can control. Oh, wait, it is allowing me to go. Oh, it is. Yeah, when I move forward to the right, it makes the game speed up, and when I move to the left, it slows it down. Okay, this is awesome. So, of all the games we've seen on the home computer trying to be like a Defender clone, this one's taking the approach of giving you shields to continue to play for a long time, and then you have a F or S to pick up the shields to increase them. Or maybe it's just shooting them. Let me see. The volcano uses dollar signs. That's a nice touch. But I got a lot more freedom with controls to play. Yeah, it looks like I just have to shoot it for the power-ups. Now what I wanted to know is this just... This game's so good that I'm hopeful it's going to be something like Super Cobra or Scramble, where we continue on and we see another level and the landscape changes, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. Because this is really good for the Apple II. Oh, there goes our shields. I mean, look at all the particles that are flying on the screen, and it's horizontally scrolling. It's so cool. Yeah, I'm with you. It's above average for the games we've seen. So there you go. 3 different versions of Rear Guard. It's published all by Adventure International. Even the box looks the same on all 3, but they're totally different games. Yeah, so I'm going to go above average. 3.5 stars for Rear Guard for the Apple II. So just to recap, Rear Guard for the first one on the Atari was, it was give or take, so I gave it subpar, 2.5 stars. But then Rear Guard for the TRS-80 is fun. It's great. 3 stars for sure. And then Rear Guard for the Apple II is even better. So we just went in order of the worst Rear Guard to the best Rear Guard. And ladies and gentlemen, we have false advertising. We didn't even get to Miss Pac-Man, which means the launch of Miss Pac-Man will have to wait for our next show, because now it's time to push pause, and the grand finale, the grand entrance of Mrs. Pac-Man herself, will have to wait till next tomorrow. So that's it for today, and like I always say, make sure you got plenty of people guarding your rear. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are Perpetually Retro, and we will catch you next time.